Hello, hello.
Hello.
This is All Things Canady, Life, Hope, and All Things Canady, 100.5 The Light. We are going as a video today because we are moving. The station is moving, and there are a few technical difficulties, but not to be defeated. We have our guest here, Chad Lawson Coooer, today.
What's up?
And we are going to still hold our discussion. We're going to do a part 1 and part 2, and we'll act as if we are on the radio. So what I'll do is post this on Facebook, and it's really a good way to actually see it on later. Mm-hmm. We have been talking about spiritual gifts. We've been talking about, can you see your future? This is what we've been talking about all year. Can you see your future? Ways that we can ensure that at the end of 2019, our future will look as if we wanted it to look and as God wanted it to look. So we've looked at some things that would feed into that in terms of how our children's future would look, how our individual futures would look. Today we're going to talk about how our future will look in terms of using our giftings and using our gifts. If we use our gifts, then we will definitely be able to ensure a prosperous future because God has a plan for each one of us. He has said that He has a plan to prosper us and to give us a hope and a future. And so,
an expected end.
And an expected end. So we know, excuse me, that if He's in it, then the future will be great.
Absolutely.
What we're going to talk about a little bit today is the fact that the Bible tells us that your gift will make room for you and that it will bring you before great men. So our guest today, I think, is a great man. And I think my gift has brought me before him as well as his gift has brought him, I'm sure, in the presence of a lot of people.
Before you.
Before I even came along. And so we're going to talk about his gifting. He has a play that's coming to Macon. He's going to tell you about that. And then we're going to talk a little bit about how his gift led to that and how we are all going to benefit from the gift that God has placed within him. Awesome. So, Mr. Coooer, is Mr. Coooer okay?
That is perfectly
all
fine.
Right. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and the fact that you recognized your gifting at some point in time? Can you tell us what that was like and then how you actually manifested that?
Well, absolutely. Chad Lawson Coooer. I'm a Broadway-based producer in New York City and a filmmaker as well. I live in downtown Brooklyn. My office is on 42nd Street in Manhattan, though. And I tour. I toured for 15 years, and I went off the road for 2 years and just did New York.
Okay.
And now I'm back on a 25-city tour in Macon. Georgia is our first city in the South. We're doing a 25 Southern tour.
Okay.
And with a production called Justice on Trial. Now, I grew up in a small city called Quincy, Florida.
Okay.
Which is next to Tallahassee. And I've always been a different kind of child.
The gifted people are usually.
My mother was very much involved in church. And so I spent a lot of time in church, started playing the piano at 5 and singing, leading songs in the choir. But I just never felt that I was supposed to live in Quincy. And I would always, even as a child, pretend like I lived in New York.
Okay. So your gift made room for you for sure. Okay.
And so, the years went by. And after, just to, paraphrase it for the sake of time, now I do live in New York. Ended up living in New York and living my dream. And so I've always been artsy, gifted in the arts. And as you said, your gift makes room for you. One gift was connected to another gift. It started out with playing and singing, and then it ended up being infused with acting and directing and writing. And so here you have it. We've written 3 national plays, one that toured in over 150 cities, the other that toured in 40-something cities. And then now we're here with Justice on Trial. that it's been on Broadway and off Broadway, and it's getting ready to do a 25-city tour. And so this encompasses, who I am. The first play that we did was entitled Church Mess. Mm-hmm. And because at the time I was pastoring, and God commissioned me into the arts, which I was not a big theater fan or anything like that. And my wife dragged me to a production in Miami that particular night, and God spoke to me and said, you're going to do theater and you're going to do film, and you're going to have to leave your comfort zone. It's pastoring a traditional church, having 2 services on a Sunday. He said, I've called you from the local to the national and international, and the only way you're going to do that is to give up this comfort seat.
Wow.
Yeah. So I ended up doing that, and the first play that we produced and wrote was Church Mess. And that play, as I said, took us to over 150 cities. And from there, but that was about the church. My second play was Family Mess. My mother was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer and given 9 days to live, and had so much hate and dislike from my oldest sister and her children that even the day that my mother died, her oldest son, whom I hadn't seen in 10 years, came up behind me when I went to my mother's home and actually physically attacked me.
Wow.
Yeah, and he said his excuse was, I just don't like you.
Wow.
You think you're better than me. And so from there, Family Mess was birthed.
Yeah, that was some mess.
Yeah.
It's a real mess.
So we dealt with, the issues of the family. And now Justice on Trial deals with us as a people, everybody, black, white, unsaved, saved. It deals with the fight of racism and how it is to be black in America.
Because basically then what you're saying with the family, the church, and now with just people in general is that we are all flawed. And so your plays deal with the flaws. I have a book that I'm writing called Flaws on Fleek. Because that's what the young people, they use that term a lot, fleek. And, it means that everything's on point. So it's okay for your flaws to be on point as long as you deal with them and as long as you use that as an impetus for change. And so what I hear you saying is that your plays are a way to kind of nudge their way into the person's spirit, so to speak, or their consciousness. And if there's a change that needs to be made, then it will be made.
Absolutely.
Correct.
And so you take your pain and make purpose out of it.
Correct.
When my mother died and I didn't have a chance to even grieve because my nephew, who was 6 years older than me, physically attacked me, and I was like, what 40-something-year-old man physically attacks somebody else? Like that. We don't fight. We did that when we were kids.
Right.
And so after I laid hands on him, and he ended up falling on the ground.
Oh my goodness!
He's an assistant pastor too.
Oh wow!
And
wow.
So, I had to lay. The Bible says lay hands on no man suddenly, but I had no choice.
Oh God!
And but I didn't even get a chance to grieve because of the foolishness. Just straight foolishness, and so I took that, and I took the different characters in my family from the lesbianism, that at one point was running rapid in my family, and all of it's in the play, and from being hated because my older sister didn't feel that we had the same father, even though he's on my birth certificate. But she hated me. It's a 28-year difference in our age. Okay. So, but growing up knowing that you're hated or disliked by what's supposed to be your sister. And so it was serious issues. But I took that and that pain and made it into purpose. So with this play, with Justice on Trial, which is also going to be a movie.
Okay.
It's not a church play. It's not religious, but it's more political. and it deals with us as a people, what we went through. Is a fun thing to do because all of us feel the pain of racism.
Right.
You know, and it's a very sensitive area in all of our lives. So, but being able to come from a small city, Quincy probably has about 50,000 people, and then I, moved from Quincy. Well, first I dropped out of school when I was 16. Because my mother was 42 years older than me. So that was probably common now, but not back then. And I just got tired of just struggling. So I decided I would drop out, start working. I started my own business and to help my mother out. And make a long story short, after a couple of years, she ended up getting hurt in some type freak accident, and she got a nice size settlement. And I ended up meeting this attorney who talked to me about working for him, but I had to go back and get my GED, and he would pay for me to go to college, which I did. And so I went and did my GED and passed it the first time, and then went to Springfield College. I graduated from there, and then went to FAMU, Florida A&M for 2 years.
Okay.
And then just started living my dream. My degree is in philosophy and religion, so I thought that was my plot to be a pastor. But after pastoring, as I said, in Miami, we relocated to Miami. And pastoring, I was literally bored.
Wow.
I was like, is this it? I mean, it's the same thing every Sunday. We recycle the same messages every week. And then, every year it's the same Easter, you can only do, he died on a Sunday and he rose. And so, and nothing wrong with that. If that's your call, do that. Do that thing.
And do it well.
Yeah. But my plot and my call in life was to do something different, other than pastoring for that dispensation was a great thing, and I still pastor. When God has called you to do something, you just have to be creative.
Right.
I pastor virtually. I pastor, we do services in Brooklyn, at my spot in Brooklyn every quarter. And that's how I have to do it because I travel 40. Now I'm going to be traveling again 40 weeks out of the year.
Yeah, so, but this is ministry. This is even ministry. And see, that's the thing I like about what I do as well. I'm a writer, and I do poetry, and I love doing the radio now because I get to meet different people, get the word out, and to minister in that way. But the art is a way of helping the unseen come to the scene.
Absolutely.
Through the arts, through beauty, and through the word, and through song, and through the plays or whatever. So that is what I wanted to get out today mainly. Can you tell us when the play is, what time, the price of the tickets, how they may obtain the tickets, and then what we'll do is we'll continue part 2 next week.
Sounds good.
Talk more about spiritual gifts, talk more about the play and how it ministers, and we'll go from there.
Sounds good.
Okay.
The play is going to be March the 15th, 16th, and the 22nd in Macon at the Douglas Theater, which is downtown Macon. And the tickets are regularly $67. They're discounted up until Friday to $42. It's early bird special. And you can get your tickets by dialing 212-786-6460. Or visiting us online at blackbroadway.info. I keep putting the NYC on it, but it's blackbroadway.info, INFO. And then for the 22nd, of course, you can call the Douglas Theater too and get your tickets. It's slightly different, higher amount than it would be by calling us at the 212-786-6460 or blackbroadway.info. But let's see you in the building. The 15th is sold out. Okay. So the 16th is on its way to being sold out. And so get your ticket. Don't wait till the last minute. The first time we did Macon 12 years ago with Church Mess, we had to turn away about 500 and something people.
Oh my goodness!
And people had took bus. They brought buses down, and when they got there, and they were no seats. They literally cussed us out.
Oh my goodness! But it was not your fault.
Church folks.
Church mess. Church mess.
Yeah. My. Isn't that church mess?
Yes, church mess. Because they should be understanding if nobody else.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's call before you come. You know, if you don't get your tickets in advance.
It's called planning.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so it's social consciousness. And this play is going to have black and white people in it, black and white people in the audience, and it's dealing with the root of what we deal with every day. So it's going to be fun, exciting, and you're going to leave with something, information.
Wow. Well, thank you. Thank you for taking the time out to talk. We're going to do the radio thing, like I said, next week.
Awesome. Next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
Be here, radio, next Wednesday.
2:00. On the light.live. The light has moved, so it's no longer downtown. But we will have information, and I will post it also on my page. We're actually in a new facility today. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful.
It sure is.
It's a lot more spacious. And all the people that couldn't come and interview with me because of the stairs, guess what? There are no stairs, so you can come straight in. Walk right in.
I floated in.
Just floating in. So get ready for your appearance, and let's support the play. Let's support the arts. Let's support the gifts that God has placed within Mr. Cooper and all of the artists who will be participating in the play.
Absolutely.
So I look forward to seeing you on next Wednesday at 2 p.m. on the light.live. God bless you, and thank you.
And remember to walk in the light, beautiful light. Walk where the dewdrops of mercy shine bright. Walk all around us by day and by night. Jesus, the light of the world.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. We'll see you on next Wednesday.